Hello. Welcome back to Good Germs Off-Road Adventures. Welcome back in the shop. And Project Donkey, it's back. Let's get into it. So in case y'all don't remember what Project Donkey is going to be, because it's been quite a long time since we've worked on it, Project Donkey is going to be our throw together, homemade, hopefully budget trailer to tow behind one of the quads, probably Darth, but it can be towed behind Dusty and maybe the others, probably not. The idea is we're going to make it as cheap as possible, as much as we can. And we want to be able to put things in it. Easy up, a tent, cooler, whatever. And maybe down the road, maybe battery, solar, might be able to run the Starlink on it. Who knows? I think at some point when I introduced this, I revealed the suspension setup I'm going to fabricate, even though I'm no fabricator. Going to be a trailing arm setup, a dual trailing arm setup, independent. Going to use the front wheels and tires, the original front wheels and tires from Billy Badass, that's the 700 Sportsman, as the wheels and tires for the trailer. As you can see, we've got, the bottom bit of the frame has been done for quite a long time, actually. Today's goal, let's try to get the sides made. The sides and the top rail, that would be fantastic if we could get that done. Now for the outside of the trailer, I wanted to do something with ABS plastic. So I had a sample piece that I had purchased and I bent it with a heat gun. Just a heat gun and a corner and bent it over. So this is going to work pretty perfectly in my mind. And it's going to kind of wrap around the trailer, sort of like this. And it'll be the outsides. I think that would work pretty nice. Now, of course, what that means is that our uprights have to be welded to the top of the frame instead of the side of the frame, which it would probably be better, probably a little stronger, to weld them onto the sides of the frame. But then I can't do this. And I want to do this because this looks nice in my mind, again. Also, in case you don't remember, this frame is made from our property used to have a swimming pool at one point, and it had a fence around it, and the fence posts were there, and we'd had some yard work done, and we cut down all the fence posts, and it's just 2-inch square tubing. I figured that's probably a couple $100 in metal, easily, that I don't have to spend, probably more than a couple $100 in metal, so we're just cutting that down, and we're going to use that. I think that'll be plenty strong enough, and actually I think I propped this up and jumped up and down on it, and it was fine. And I don't know what else to say other than let's get into it. So the sides, I plan on being 2 feet tall, but that's going to have to include the thickness of the frame, which is 2 inches. So that means instead of 24 inches, which is sort of there, these need to be 22 inches tall. So that's good, 22 inches, because I think my shortest piece here, yeah, it'll get me right to there. Plus, I need to shave off another 1/2 inch to have maybe 3/4 of an inch, because I am going to, well, maybe you'll see later, but I'm going to roll the top of the side as it comes up over the top edge. I'm going to use angle across the top. My idea is when I get to make a lid for this thing, I want it to seal up and not get water inside of it or dust, or limit the dust as much as I can. But so we're going to cut these. Instead of 22 inches, cut them at either 21.5 or 21.25. Okay, what did I say? 21.25? That's sort of there. Now this is a very old, cutter that I have. It was inherited from somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where. It's just the regular wheel there, nothing too fancy. Let me get gloves and some eye protection. Nothing to do here, but just to do it. Well, that's not too terrible. One thing I forgot to mention is make sure when you're putting a cutting wheel, so put it on a nice plastic table. So that way all the burrs just embed themselves, all the bits of metal embed in the table and you can't ever get it out again. Anyway, not too bad. So now we just have to do that a whole bunch more times, but with this cut now, this should sit quite nicely on the trailer. It's going to go in a sort of that way orientation. It's actually decently tall, isn't it? I'm pretty happy with that. Where's my measuring device? Here it is. Let's make sure that we are at 23¼ inches. That looks pretty good to me. So now what I need to do is make a whole bunch more of those. So I'm going to do that. I don't figure y'all need to see me cut the same thing 7 more times, 9 more times. You've seen me do it once. I'm going to do the exact same process every single time. So I'm just going to do that and then I'll come back to you because there's no point in you just watching me cut metal the same exact way a whole bunch of times. Anyway, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, now well, as you can see, we've got all of our bits cut for the legs of the sides and even the top rails. Now this is kind of the orientation we're going to do the top rail in. Then the lid we're going to have set on top of this and kind of close over the, over it. I think that's going to work. In my mind, that'll work. I have no idea if it's going to work. Anyway, all the legs are cut. We've got 8 of the big white pieces. Those are going to go down the sides. And then 2 of the smaller ones, because I don't have enough, and they're going to go here, sort of in the middle, but under that. And these are 3/4 inch, and that's a 3/4 inch angle. That should work. So we've got all this stuff cut. And I need to prep for welding, which means I need to get in here with a grinder and grind off some of this white, whatever it is, powder coat paint, clean up the edges because, that's not a very clean edge from cutting on the, cutter, chopper, whatever it's called. So, sure. All right. Here we go. Okay, I've got everything cleaned up around here, ready for some welding, I think. And I've got the first upright. I've got it standing straight, I think. You can see there's a square there that looks like it makes it that direction, standing up straight. And on this side, I've got another one. Well, you can see it better on this side over here. And that's standing up straight. So that means that I'm going to go ahead, I suppose, and get set up for welding. Okay, we're just going to tack it on all four sides, little tacks. And we're going to do that all the way around because it's probably a good idea. In case we have to adjust something later on, we can just kind of pop a tack and move it or whatever. So we're just going to do some tacking. Now keep in mind, once again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a fabricator, not a welder. Just kind of making it up as I go. And, you know, hoping for the best. I'm sure it's just fine. Well, here we go. Well, that's a tack. Now, with any luck, yeah, it's on there. It should still be standing straight. Sure. It moved some, but that's why we're just tacking it, you know. Otherwise, if we went to full-on weld it, it would warp all kind of different ways. So we're just gonna keep on going down the way and just tacking. Just tack it all together. Alrighty, let's see how we did. These are all just tacked on, not full-on welded, but this is pretty much the look. And now for the top rail, let's see how these go. So I don't expect perfection on all of this. I know that we're going to have to do some adjusting. Like, see, this one is a little bit in. And I know that this is the right length, so what we'll do is we'll weld one end and then we'll somehow spread it and then weld the other end. Anyway, let's put the other side up. And pretty much the same exact story here, but not as bad as over there. And that's fine. Now you can see sort of what I'm going for. Now these open bits on the end, I think what I'm going to do is probably, I don't know, make some plates to fill those in. This is what happens when you don't really plan things very well. But that's fine. Probably fill those in with something. And obviously here I'm going to have to notch here and then weld it. That's fine. So the lid's going to come down and kind of come over this lip. That way water, dust and stuff won't have as easy as, it'll make it harder for it to get in. That's what I'm trying to say. So having said all that, I think I'm going to go ahead and get, I guess, clamping on some of this. I'll just start on one of the side, you know, like this guy right here. Take everything back off, start with this, probably weld this end here, and then go to that end, get that spread to where it belongs and weld it, and then come back and get the middle two, do that side, do the ends. And that'll probably make it pretty good. Okay. Tack welds complete. It's the shape it's going to be. I am really not mad at it. Just a reminder for y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. Just making it up as I go along. I'm not a fabricator, I'm not a maker, I'm not a builder of things. I'm literally just a dude making something silly. So it's all tacked up. It looks pretty good. There's no point in trying to re-square it up. It is pretty much what it is. It's close enough. If you look at it, it looks straight. Yeah. So, perfect. So what I have left to do now is, for today, is I'm going to go ahead and full weld it. probably going to start at the top because that's where there's some tension, just a little bit on the rails anyway. Not a lot, just a how you doing amount of tension. So I'm going to start at the top, full weld the top, then full weld the bottom, and then I'll catch back up to you because I have to notch in these corners. That shouldn't be too hard. I guess we'll see. Up, up, boom. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, can't see. Okay, there we go. Up, down. Probably turn that up a hair on the wire feed because it seems to be slow in my mind. Then again, I don't know what I'm doing. So, okay, here we go. Well, it's a good thing we have a grinder. It's a good thing we have a grinder because we'll need it. Well, that weld was pretty good. And well, we're done welding and stuff. Now all that's left from this is a very large amount of grinding because I'm no welder. But I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's going to work out pretty well. It seems to be super strong. The wiggle and the rattle, and that's from the table that it's sitting on, which is much too small for it, but that's okay. Yeah, I guess grinding. Now we're not going to grind everything, just the bits around the outer edges. The rest is fine. All right, folks. Well, it ain't perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it. You know, there's a saying, and if you watch Puddin's Fab Shop, probably my favorite of all of the YouTube channels, he has a saying that says, a grinder and paint makes you the welder you ain't. Except for me, it does not. It just highlights. Look, there's some places where after I've done the grinder, it looks pretty good, but there's not many of them, and that's okay. As long as it holds together, that's really what matters, because let's not forget, we're going to cover most of it with this. So I ground up the edges on this, not to make them pretty when I paint it, but to make this thing fit better. Let me show you. You know, you have to remember, on a corner like this, well, that's going to go on there. So once you put that on there, that just makes it look like I am a professional welder. And then again, up here at the top, you know, same thing. So here's kind of the reason why I did this the way I did, and I cut these things to 21.25 inches. So this makes a total height of 23.25 inches, plus this eighth that this is, that's, you know, the metal. It's because I want to bring this up, and it should come up to about there, and then I'm going to heat it up and bend it over the top. So that sort of was my idea. And of course the corners will have to cut, and that's fine. But that's the plan. And I think it's going to be plenty strong enough for what we're going to use it for. Cooler, easy up maybe a tent, some food. Might do a lithium battery with the solar panel on the top, like I said before. I think the most challenging part of this thing is probably going to be putting a lid on it, because I do want to put a lid, a cover that opens and closes, hinges probably on the long side, because that would make the sense, put gas struts inside to, and then it can stay open. And then with it being a steel frame, it can probably hold, you know, a rack, solar panel, stuff like that. gas can, probably find a way to attach a gas can to the back, water, things like that. And maybe inside that can make them attach. I don't know. But I really think that's going to do it. I think this is episode 3 of Project Donkey. As in, that'll do, donkey.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Sorry, that was a Shrek flashback. Yeah, I think this is the 3rd video, so that's good progress today. Really happy. Got the frame, the box kind of built. I think in the next video we're going to start sorting out the tongue and the suspension. I think that's going to be the next video. So we're going to figure out how long the tongue needs to be and where the suspension's going to mount and all those things. Figure out which end is the front and which end is the back, right and left, those kind of things. Right now, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I know some of you have been asking for some more Project Donkey, and here we are, some more Project Donkey. I've got a goal that by King of the Hammers in the end of January of 27, 27, just realized I still have these on. Anyway, I want to have this done so I can use it at King of the Hammers and get out into the remote places and spend the day out there. Anyway, like I was saying, I think it's going to do it for today. Look for the next episode in the coming weeks, and I appreciate all of you. In the meantime, y'all raid safe, and you work in your shop safe, and you wear eye protection, and it's okay if you forget to leave it on, just don't forget to put it on. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye now. Yes, indeedy.